At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce to you today's guest speaker, Lieutenant Colonel Richard Stackpole. Colonel Stackpole currently serves as the Recruiting and Retention Battalion Commander for the Tennessee Army National Guard. He received his commission as a signal officer from the Reserve Officer Training Corps at Middle Tennessee State University in 2003. He served 5 years on active duty before transitioning to the Army National Guard. He is a graduate of the Signal Officer Basic Course, Maneuver Captain Careers Course, the Adjutant General Career Course, Command and General Staff College, and the U.S. Army War College. Colonel Stackpole's previous assignments included Director of Public Affairs for the Tennessee Army National Guard, as well as Director of Family Programs. He also served previously as the Deputy Commander for the Recruiting Retention Battalion in Tennessee, as well as serving as the S3 at brigade and battalion levels. Colonel Stackpole holds a Bachelor's of Business Administration from MTSU and a Master's in Strategic Studies from the U.S. Army War College. His awards and decorations include the Bronze Star Medal, Meritorious Service Medal, the Army Commendation Medal, and the Air Force Commendation Medal, among others. He resides in Shelbyville, Tennessee, with his wife, Deanna, and his children, Abram and Verity. Please join me in welcoming Colonel Stackpole.
Greetings, everyone. Colonel Cherry, Lieutenant Colonel Ferguson, Command Sergeant Major Snow, Command Sergeant Major Farrar, all our fellow RRB leaders that are here today, and class of 23005. Congratulations on your accomplishment in completing SQI4. I know and I understand that I'm what's between you and the road right now, so I'm going to try to make this quick and sweet and to the point. But I want to share with you some pointers that have that we've seen in the field a couple times. Some common pitfalls and some keys to success. One of the stories that was shared with me when I was at a course as a general officer came in, and he gave this speech about how he was at a gas station, and he's just pulling over in Virginia, and he's pumping gas, and this nice old woman comes up to him, and he's sitting there with his star on his chest, and she walks up to him and says, "You know, thank you for your service. Thank you for what you do." And he just smiles and, you know, does the polite, "Well, thank you for your support." And she looks at him and goes, "Are you a sergeant?" And he has a big smile on his face. He goes, "No, ma'am, I'm not a sergeant." And she looks him dead in the eyes and says, "Well, you keep trying. You'll get there one day." So, yeah, for many of you will be the face of the National Guard in your communities. And that rank of sergeant carries with it a lot of weight just in the community in general. And you are that representative for the National Guard. The couple pitfalls I want to share is protecting yourself. First, protect your attitude. Protect your demeanor. Protect the way you look at work in the morning. Because you're gonna be out there, and you'll have battle buddies that aren't in the best mood. That you'll have people that have been in this organization for a while that can be toxic, can drag you down. Don't snap link into that. You in this job, you carry your attitude will shine through to those applicants, to those individuals that you want to join the National Guard. If you are struggling because that has just seeped into you, then you are not going to be successful. Stay positive. This is a huge opportunity for you. This is a huge opportunity to impact lives, to provide people with opportunities that they've never had. It's a huge responsibility, but each and every one of you are capable of doing it. Do not slip into that trap of not enjoying this, because it's important that you have that positive attitude. Protect your time. Absolutely protect your time. No recruiting commander, no recruiting sergeant major or first sergeant wants to cause you to miss your kid's ball game, to miss an important event. Nobody wants to do that, but mission's important. The mission that we do is critical because it puts people in boots so that commanders can go out and execute the duties that they're assigned and the missions that they're assigned Whether that's an infantry company commander, a field artillery company commander, a truck company commander, whoever it is, they have those missions that they have to complete, and we're the ones responsible for putting people in those uniforms so that they can execute those missions. If we don't do that job, those commanders struggle, right? And if we do our job very poorly, those commanders, we could set them up for failure. It is very hard to deploy to NTC and try to operate in a 24-hour environment with 75% strength unit. And when you do that, people try to do more. People stretch themselves. People don't get a rest cycle. And you know what happens? They get tired. And when people get tired in a stressful environment, mistakes are made and people get hurt. That happens when you're a 100% unit. Imagine when you're a 75% strength and you and your NCOs and each one of your soldiers is trying to do more because you know you got to meet that mission. It's important that we fill these units. Our commanders out there deserve it, and if you ever put one soldier in the Guard, you owe that soldier a solid battle buddy. You owe it to them to make sure that you're putting people in that will stand beside them when times get tough and when they go off to fight our nation's wars, that they have a team there that's with them. Take care of your people. Once they raise their right hand, the job's not done. All right? Take care of them. Contact them. Follow up with them at RSP. Care about them, because they will. First 2 years of what you're about to do is going to be hard because you don't have that pipeline built. Many of you don't. You will, but in these next 2 years, you're going to build that foundation that's going to springboard you to the rest of your career. And a lot of that is going to be these young soldiers that you meet here in the next 24 months or so. You will find, if you take care of these soldiers, suddenly I'm getting a call because, Private Snuffy that I put in 18 months ago, he's got a buddy that wants to join now. He sees what he's doing, and now he wants to join. Or his little brother wants to join. If you take care of these soldiers after they raise that right hand and don't forget about them and focus moving on to the next mission, put the time, energy, and effort into them, and it will pay dividends in the long run. Last thing I'll say is common trap that I see, not from bad recruiters. And it's guys that usually are hitting the middle of the road. They not quite top tier. They have all the qualities to be top tier, and they just can't quite get it. And that's that they go out and they enlist individuals that are carbon copies of themselves. They go and they look for individuals that if they're an 11 Bravo, they're looking for guys that could be great 11 Bravos. If they're a field artillery guy, they're looking for future field artillery people. That's their mindset. Know your units in your area. Know what your units need. And understand that it takes everybody to make the U.S. Army successful. We need truck drivers. We need paralegals. We need infantry. We need 11 Charlies. We need all of it, right? This is a huge, diverse organization that we absolutely cannot afford to be missing any of those key pieces in. So when you go out and you're only focused on the one thing, the 11 Bravo or whatever it is that is exactly like you are missing so many opportunities to increase your success in this organization. That being said, I said I was going to be short and sweet. I hope each and every one of you has the greatest success possible out there, especially my folks here from Tennessee, all 8 of you. Congratulations. And I hope each and every one of you probably do the most important thing you'll do this weekend, and that's get home safely, back to your families. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you to the SMTB and your staff for having me, and sincerely appreciate the opportunity. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir, for those inspiring words.